What's up, y'all? Cole Swindell here, downtown Kannapolis, North Carolina, here at Cardiac's, one of our favorite places here. Me and Butterbean love trading cards, and this is a spot we come often to just rip some cards, hang out, catch up on live. But today we're doing something different. I'm doing his podcast, Bean Nation. Here we come. Let's go.
What is up, Cardiacs? This is episode 15 of the Bean Nation podcast presented by Clear 28. This one's even really cool for me because this is going to be somebody that's not a racer on the show and another live episode. So appreciate everybody that's in here, and hopefully we'll get some more in here. But episode 15, that's hard to believe. And I'm super excited to announce Cole Swindell as my guest.
Yeah, man.
And
good to be here.
Yeah, welcome in. So, I guess we're going to kind of bounce this differently than how I was going to originally start it. So Cole and I, we kind of met through a trading card. So that's perfect fitting of why we're doing our show with you on it in Cardiacs. So do you want to tell the listeners out that are going to listen to this, and then also people here, like how we met a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, I've been a fan of racing for a long time. I always tell people I'm literally just a fan. I didn't grow up. There's a lot of people that are fans that grew up racing, whether it's go-karts or either higher levels than that. But for me, it's just, I've always been just a fan of it. So I guess it was towards the end of last year, I had gotten back into the hobby and just trading cards, and NASCAR being a passion of mine. I kind of got into those cards, and I was really learning. The game's changed so much in the card world since I was a kid.
You're like, who the heck's Butterbean?
Well, that's literally, but people, it's obvious I'm like Butterbean, and I'd seen that you'd won the ARCA championship, and just, I didn't know your story at that time. I just was like, man, this guy's got to be cool. It's Butterbean. And I sent him a picture of a card I pulled of his, and sure enough, he wrote me back. He's like, man, that's cool. And we just that's how we got in touch. We ended up, meeting up at a card shop and, opening some packs. But just really that day, we went to lunch and just he told me his story and I told him mine. It was just a cool thing to make a new friend. And I was already, a fan of his cards, and now I've seen him race. We've hung out plenty of times, and a lot of times right here at Cardiac. And this is kind of our meetup spot. We hang and rip cards and just catch up. So it's that was a cool day for me too.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I think for me, getting a little bit more known in the racing world, like the last thing I ever expected was Cole Swindell to DM me on Instagram. So I remember I was home for the holidays, and we just kind of went back and forth, and kind of from there started what most people would describe to hang around as. They think we've been friends for years, but really just a few months. But I'm looking forward to the future. And, I think we've pulled more cards than I'll ever win races, probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a believer. We'll see. But it's cool to, for me, just to see where you are. You've been at it a long time, but some people may think, oh, this is overnight. Here's this Butterbean guy. You've been at it a long time. And that's kind of in my world. There's a lot of similarities and a lot of not, but it's just it's cool to get to see somebody on the verge of just being a superstar, and that's, you already are in my mind, but man, it's cool to get to watch it from my point of view.
Yeah, I think what our listeners and Bean Nation and everybody's going to find out is completely different jobs that we do, but how our stories are kind of similar in ways. So I'm excited to dive in that. So I always tell my viewers I did my homework. That's what I told Larry Mack. So
hey, you did great on that. I'm a big Larry Mack fan, and I got to see that. That's got to be cool, man.
It was cool. So you were from Glenville, Georgia, is that right? And you grew up in Dawson.
Yep. Both sides of the state. People ask me, I've lived, Tennessee, North Carolina, but I grew up in Georgia. I was born in Savannah, moved over near Southwest Georgia, and that's kind of, where I call home. And spent most of my life in Georgia till I moved to Nashville. But just growing up down there, I mean, that's when I remember, just being into sports. That's kind of what
so you were in all sports.
All sports, and obviously, NASCAR was part of that. My dad and brothers always watched it, always had it on, and always watching Earnhardt. So that's kind of how I got introduced to the sport, and it's crazy to see how far it's come since then. But
yes, another interesting fact that I wrote down was you actually majored in marketing. Is that correct?
Yeah.
At,
Wow, you did do your homework. So did me.
Georgia Southern, right? So I respect that because I actually did not finish my college degree. So just to get that is impressive. So kind of where your story starts on, what the world knows you as. I would say you were there majoring in marketing,
Yeah.
and that's when you met Luke Bryan, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's, we were, I played sports all through high school, and then I always say I quit sports and started playing the bars, playing music, and just, literally, we didn't even have this many people in there when I was playing. It's pretty crazy to see where that started. But honestly, at that time, I didn't know what I just knew I, loved music. I'd always loved music. I'd never knew I'd be singing or writing songs or any of that. But the college years, it's where you're trying to figure out. I was an undeclared major before I think I just had to choose something. So I chose marketing, and I feel like in my business, my career now, it worked out like that.
I was going to say that probably worked out nowadays, right?
That is not why I picked it. But, I got down towards the end of my college and realized that there's nothing I love more than music and the way it makes you feel. And I knew I had to be in Nashville. It's kind of, like this is where a lot of people come to
Mooresville.
Exactly.
To be in Nashville.
That was one similarity I remember when we were talking, is just how, you got to leave home, you got to, go chase a dream, and it is tough, but man, it's worth it. And I think, just the people you surround yourself with, and that's just the folks you have around you and where you come from. It's just, I think that makes who somebody is. And I think it carries you through, and helps you have a longer career, just the person you are. And I think that's kind of what we both can connect on.
Well, we'll kind of dive back into the part of moving, because that's a very important point in both of our lives, I feel like. But something I wanted to ask you about. So you meet Luke Bryan there, and first off, what was that experience like? And then what is the decision to sell merch for Luke, right? Like, most people probably don't even know you're slinging t-shirts, but like, how do you come to terms you're not going to go play a sport? I guess at this point you're playing bars or you're venturing in it. You meet somebody like Luke Bryan, who I guess is at that time is taken off.
Yeah,
you're selling, and then you make the decision to go sell merch.
Yeah, that was, the merch thing just kind of happened. I mean, I met Luke. I was already playing cover songs. I had fallen in love with being on stage and entertaining folks, but I met Luke for the first time, and he sat down and was changing his guitar strings and just played. He said, "Can I play something I wrote?" And we're like, "Yeah, go ahead." And I remember he played this song, and I was just floored. I was like, "You wrote that?" And that was really where it clicked to me that, a lot of people think that every song you hear, the artist they don't really think about who writes it. But as a songwriter, songwriters don't get enough credit, man. So to know he wrote something like that, that really fueled me to want to be a songwriter more so than an artist or any of that. I'd always been a fan of country radio, but I wanted to be the person in charge of writing the songs people were hearing. And that's really what started that. When I moved to town, I said, I'm just going to write songs and hopefully, just try to make it that way. I didn't know if I'd ever write a song good enough. I didn't know if I'd ever get a record deal. And Luke needed somebody when I moved to Nashville to do his merchandise. I needed a job to pay rent, so it worked out, man. I went out there and didn't come off the road for like 3 years. So
you were selling merch for 3 years.
Yeah, writing back when I was in Nashville, all hours of the night, day, just whenever I could find anybody that would write, we'd get back off the road selling merchandise. And Luke, at that time, he was big to us because we were from Georgia, but I remember, I'll never forget, we were up in Boston. One of the first shows, I was selling t-shirts, and somebody walked by the merch table and looked, and they were like, "Who the hell is Luke Bryan?" And I was like, "What? How do you not know that?" You grew up in Boston. So it's just, but now obviously he's gone on and done big things, but he's like a big brother to me in the business. And people like that are, you get to watch somebody. I was watching him as a new artist and to become what he is now. I mean, I think that helped me. I didn't even know it. All I wanted to be on stage and writing songs, not selling t-shirts, but it was a huge opportunity. And just to see the business from that side, I think helped me when I finally did get my opportunity, and how he treated people and how you treat the people that help you. In our business too, you don't do it by yourself. You don't get where you are, and you dang sure don't stay there long with thinking it's all about you. So I think just learning from somebody like that really, really helped me out, from the beginning.
That's it's interesting you say that, because it's funny. It's almost like being in the racing world and, trying to get opportunities after, fighting and clawing. And then sometimes you go with the team, you're not even driving, but you see a whole different perspective. Yeah. And you must have seen my cheat sheet, because part of my next seg was first off, what made you want to not do sports and go play music? But also, did you want to sing or songwrite? You kind of answered that.
Yeah, but no, I mean, for me, I think I knew I loved music, and it all kind of just happened gradually. I think, playing cover songs, I say that in my live shows now. It's the best feeling in the world for, when you do what we do, to hear people singing back songs. It's just, there's no way to describe that. But, to know that at some point I was like, man, this is cheating. These aren't even my songs. I want them singing back songs that I wrote. And that really is what started that. So when I went to Nashville and started writing some songs for other artists, I mean, that's kind of what got my name out there, was being a songwriter. And at that point, I'd already had the experience of being on stage and entertaining. Now I had my own songs, and it just kind of, when the opportunity came, I don't know if you're ever ready, but I was, I felt a little more ready than I would have been, I think, if my path had not taken the road it did. So
yeah, well, like from hanging around you and learning a little bit more about the music world, because it's almost like somebody coming in our world until you really ask. And it's funny, Cole and I, for everybody in here, we'll just be in the middle of ripping cards, and I'll ask him a random music question, or he'll ask me a random racing question. And to me, it's a normal question. To him, he's thinking, is that a weird question? And I'm same thing when I ask him, but you don't know until you really ask. Because like I've had so many questions to you about the music world, about songwriting versus singing. Like there's so many people that write songs that they never even sing, and somebody else goes and has a #1 hit, and the whole time you're listening to it and you're thinking that's their song. And there's some songs, which I'm going to get into in a second, but that I liked, and you tell me why I wrote it. So like I didn't know how that whole word worked, because you just see Morgan Wallen with whatever song #1, he might not even wrote that song. So there's
two sides of it. And just, songwriters, I do think, without them, we wouldn't have songs. But a lot of artists, and like myself, I pride myself in writing my own stuff, but there's just so many good writers in town that if I get something sent to me that I wish, people always ask, they're like, if you didn't write it, how do you know it's for you? And for me, it's easy. It's if I wish I would have written it, or it just feels like something that is me and what I want to say. I mean, that's kind of usually a good sign. But anytime you can write something yourself, it's a little easier to tell your story that way. But man, there's just a lot of talent in Nashville when it comes to writing, and that's another thing. There's, a lot of people that would, do anything to be where I'm standing. So it keeps you motivated. And there's a lot of talented people out there just waiting on their chance. And unfortunately, some people never, get that break, and it's a shame. It's a tough business. So I think that keeps me, just knowing that I'm very fortunate to be in the spot I am, and without the, support of people that dig what I'm doing, I wouldn't still be doing it after this long. So.
I love that, because it's so many similarities of like my path. And I mean, you and I have had so many nights or days up, whether we were here or somewhere else, eating, hanging out, and just talking about it, because it's truly inspirational how most of my viewers obviously know my path, but it's the same type of fighting and clawing, and you don't know if you're gonna get that lucky break. So that's why, like, interesting fact that I found was 2010, you signed a publishing deal with Sony ATV Music, right? But you weren't singing, right? You wrote these songs. So you wrote, and I could have had a whole book to write these things, but I just jotted down some that I feel like most people would know. Obviously, you wrote a bunch for Luke Bryan, Just a Sip, Beer in the Headlights, which that's the one that I knew.
I can't believe you remember that.
Yes.
Was at the time, that song was one of my favorites, and music changes over the years. So now listening back to some of them, it's not exactly
it's awesome.
Where it's at now, but it does. It takes you back to 2013, whatever the 2010 was on my publishing deal.
But you wrote, Just a Sip, Beer in the Headlights, Roller Coaster,
that's
Out Like That, and then you had for Florida Georgia Line, that This Is How We Roll. I mean, that was
a big one. That was
In Love with the Girl. And there was more, but I just knew I'd be here all day if I was writing them down. But
Luke, that was
those are all, like, most people know all those songs, really. And to know that you wrote them, I think is super cool, because I'm sure Luke gives you credit. I would never say that, but once again, to the outside world, you only see Luke sing it. You don't know the meaning, or so I think the part I would struggle, the reason I keep asking about the singing versus songwriting is to write something that you pour your heart into and then somebody else sings it. So how does Cole Swindell handle that? Is that easy to handle, or do you ever have moments where you like play it at home by yourself and go, man, that should be me?
Yeah.
Like,
Luckily I wasn't ever in that situation when Luke recorded Roller Coaster or FGL. They did the This Is How We Roll. I was, I was trying to make a living writing songs. So them doing that, I didn't even have, it was a no brainer for me. I'm like, absolutely, you can record these. And that's kind of, the more songs I was getting recorded, the labels and manager, they were hearing my version of it that was being sent around. So they're like, why aren't you singing these too? And that just kind of is where it all started. And people, they're like, as far as you say, you keep bringing up the writing and singing, but that's a lot of people want to know that because they're like, would you rather write or sing? Is that
both? Like,
as long as I can do both, I'm doing both, no doubt. But I don't think people can understand this, that it can possibly be walking out in front of thousands of people, hearing them sing back, but being in a room with 3 people and coming up with a line that the world hadn't even heard, but you just know that it's going to impact somebody, and high-fiving. And if you could be a fly on the wall in some of these writing sessions, you'd think we were crazy, and we may be, but it's just a crazy process of how a song gets created. I think that's what a lot of people, you ought to come in and watch us write sometime. You would be like, what's going on right now? It's just the creative process is something that it's hard to put into words.
If I know you'll write because you've told me, but yeah. I'm telling you, once I get some time, I want to experience the what do you call it? The sound or the studio. And I want to be the guy on the other side of the glass, like hit that one more time. Yeah. I need to hear that one more time, So,
yeah.
But I think it's funny, like you think of it this way, when you talk about singer, songwriter, performing it, even just being a guy in the band.
Yeah.
To me, it's like the pit crew, the driver. But that'd be like asking me, do you want to set the car up or do you want to drive it?
Yeah.
Or do you want to spot it? Like those are all the things. And like I've done the setup parts with my, like when I was late model racing and drive it. So to me, that would be like almost like being part of the songwriting and then going out and performing, because if I left that bolt loose or nut loose, I messed up the song.
Yeah, no, exactly. We're staying in our lanes on that, but that's kind of why, just me, I don't understand, that in depth about the race and stuff. I love to watch it, and I love to see, the work that goes into it and learning. I mean, I've learned a lot just from living around here in North Carolina, just with all of it going on. It's just really cool to have friends in the business like you that can kind of show you an inside look. So I owe you I owe Butterbean a trip to the studio when we're working on this next album. And
look, there you go. Did you ever?
Hey, buddy, what's that now?
Did you ever think Bean would be going to the studio? He'd be in the studio with somebody named
Butterbean. I mean, that sounds like a sick name. On the feature, Cole Swindell featuring Butterbean on this track here. Well, I'll think of some ideas.
So we'll fast forward a little bit. So I feel like 2013's got to be an important year for you, right?
Yeah.
You released Chillin' It, independently released. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't even have a record deal.
So I want to go through that process because I know that song, I guess, helped you sign your record deal with Warner Music Nashville.
That's correct.
So how does for my listeners and B Nation, we're just a bunch of race fans, right? How does that process work a little bit? Give us the Cole Swindell spin on you wrote the song, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Right. You write it, you put it out.
Yeah, that whole process is it's almost, I mean, it was a little while back, but it was almost like a blur, that we had Chillin' It. And it's funny, you had just got done talking about the songs I wrote for other people, Luke, Thomas Rhett, Florida Georgia Line. Well, when I wrote Chillin' It, I had those other songs recorded. And I remember Luke, I think he heard Chillin' It and was like, I'll record this right now, and I remember that was the turning point for me, deciding, hey, am I going to keep letting other people record these, or if I'm going to have a serious shot at being a country music artist, it's all about the song, and they can't take that from you. And I felt like, this was something I needed to put out, and Luke was like, hey, I get it.
So you told Luke no.
We understood. He said, if you're not going to put this up, I'll definitely record it. But it just kind of let me know this is it. It's now or never. And we, Sirius XM had the Highway going, and there was this thing called the Highway Finds, and we had another song off my debut album slated to go out as my first song on the highway, and I wrote "Chillin' It," and within 2 weeks we switched it to "Chillin'" because I was like, this is it. This is the first song. I just felt it. I had no, you never know how something's going to be received, but it's, the rest is history. And deciding to put that out allowed me to really have an advantage picking a record label and going through that whole process because we already had a song out there. And it's just the business has changed so much. But I think now, like the way TikTok, how big the social media and how somebody can post a video and have a record deal in 2 days, it's changed a lot. But, I have to look back and see there were open doors in my world, whether it was selling T-shirts for Luke or doing this. I mean, everybody's got their way in, like to get their foot in the door to try to fight and make it. And I think, mine, it's different, but I wouldn't have believed the story that, got me to where I am right here if I hadn't lived it. I don't think so. It's just crazy where people, like you said, they don't know your whole story, but to see how it all happened and to just wonder, man, I wouldn't have dreamed of half of this. I remember driving to Nashville, just half scared to death, but knew I didn't have a backup plan. And I think that's half the reason I made it, after we talked about
Yeah, I mean, that's hilarious because I told you the same thing. I'm like, when I left my job and went, I didn't have a backup plan. So I drove, like, I think I drove the way I did, whether I made people mad or whatever. Like, I had to win.
Yeah.
And you had to write a song that would work. And little did you know, I'm driving to high school around that time, chilling it, David, chilling it. So, I'm jamming out. I'm jamming out on Hickory High School. Go Hawks.
There you go.
I'm jamming out, everybody around the bonfires. We had some Cole Swindell playing, and never knew I'd be sitting here with you. But one more question I had on that is, you put it out independently, and then you get your record deal. So to put it out independently for the viewers, do you take a chance on yourself, like paying for that? How does, I don't know how much of that info you can give, but do you have to bet on yourself, kind of like how I left my job? Or
that's kind of what a lot of people don't understand, like publishing deals, record deals. It's all recoupable. They're fronting the money, and your album hopefully or songs make money, and once that's all recouped, then you might make some money. So really, it's almost like a loan. And at that time, I was not fronting anything. I had my manager Carrie Edwards and some people that were working with me trying to get me a deal. That's what, I'm sure they paid for it, and then I paid them back at some point. So
I don't regret it.
I paid my bill over the years. So.
All right. Well, that's very good info. And I learned something there because when I was doing my homework and reading about that, like the independently verse, that I wondered. So that answered it. But
it's a grind. I mean, but everybody, not everybody does it that way. But I think at that time, having a song that was on XM radio that kind of blew up before I even signed a record deal, it really, that's not how I planned it, but that's one of those things I definitely would not change. And next thing you know, I was out on tour with Luke, and then, FGL, Dirk, Saldean, just some of the tours I was on right out of the gate. It really, now being where I'm in my career, getting to take people out on tour with me, I don't know. It's crazy how special that was, getting in front of all those fans and them sharing their fans with me, and I think that's how you say thank you in our business, is you give it back, find somebody you believe in, somebody that reminds you of right where you were, and just knowing how hard it is to make it, man. Just help somebody else out. That's, I feel like that's always a good rule of thumb.
So I'm basically the opener for the headliner right now in the truck series. So truck series is the headliner. So I'm where you were, right? So you describe it, right?
Absolutely. Like, and when you got goals, but also you're living the dream right now, something that people probably told you you'd never do, and you've gone and shown them that. And I think it's just the beginning, but it's just, it is cool to see. And I promise you this, like, you're going to get where you're going, but I always wondered, when you get to the top, to where is it? The fun and all that stuff's in the getting there. It's in the grind. You're going to look back and be like, man, because you even talking about some of these songs and just what a blur, the schedule's just here, there, and you miss, family time, and you miss things that are important, chasing a dream. And those people that really love you, they understand. But, anytime you can, stop and try to enjoy it and just see where you are and how blessed you are, I think that just helps you keep going. But it's hard to do sometimes. It's what's next. And, y'all's schedule is insane too. So it's, It is. It's cool to just see that other people trying to, live a dream and make it happen. There's a lot of similarities, I think.
It's cool because like we try to always compare it back and forth, but I feel like, when you're opening for a headliner, that's like the Truck Series versus the O'Reillys versus the Cup type of deal. So it's cool to just even be on that platform, and just like you probably did, like I take in so much. You're learning the way the whole weekend goes. Just like you're learning from those Luke Bryans, the Aldines, and all that. So I think this is a really cool point to bring up, because what I'm racing for this year is Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah.
So
Cool.
2015, you win Artist of the Year, AMC.
Yeah.
Is that Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, it is.
Was that-
Yeah, they have the ACM CMAs, and then that was the one in Dallas. They had the 50th. I'll never forget that night. The night before, just a special weekend. So
yeah. So when you win that award, I mean, obviously you're probably, everybody that competes in sports or whatever, you never go there thinking you can't win it, right? Like you feel like you do your job. Like you go, like I go to the racetrack every week. I feel like I can win, even if it's not in the cards. But when you go to that, really quickly, I guess, so just from your perspective, like when you're sitting there, and I used to watch the AMCs all the time, but they bring up the nominees and
show you right there.
and like you're waiting, and you don't know if they're gonna call your. I don't know. Did you know? But
nervous.
Yeah. How are you feeling in that moment? Like, do you think you're gonna get it? Who are you up against?
Dude, I wish I could. I'm getting nervous thinking about it because it's literally the most. It's like, just get this over with. You just see the names. You got a camera that's right in your face. You're supposed to act like you don't see it, like it's right here in your face. And it's just, you can't make they'll show you all throughout award shows, and you could be just trying to see something, and it looks like you're just pissed off about a performance, and it's not that at all. Those camera views, you got to be on your
straight
A game,
right?
smiling. Yeah, but that's when they're reading out the names, it really is stressful, because you don't know. I mean, you want to win, but you just know how those things go. It could go either way. And that night, I couldn't tell you what I was thinking, other than my heart was beating out of my chest. And then they, to say your name, that's the last. It's literally, to relate this to cards, it's like pulling a 101 gold vinyl. Like, there's no way I'm gonna. And you see it, and you just like,
You've never done that, have you?
I might hear it right here in this, not here, but maybe today. I don't know. But just, it really is that feeling of like, did that just happen? And you're like, oh, so that's what this feels like. And you just, I'm up there, have no idea what I said. I don't like talking. That's why I sing in front of people. I don't like talking much. So I just, you have the acceptance speech. You don't thank everybody you need to. It's a blur, man. But that night, the night before, I sang with one of my childhood heroes, Alan Jackson. I got to sing Chattahoochee with him at the Rangers ballpark the night before, and then one new artist the next night. Was definitely highlight of my career. So Rookie of the Year, we're gonna go ahead and put it out there right here. Let's get the votes.
It's the points, and the highest rookie of points, which is Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
So we just gotta keep on. But most popular driver is a vote. So that I feel like you, if I'm in that running.
I think we got you a few votes in here today.
All right. So I know you had a bunch more hits, and I saved the hassle of writing them all down, because I know we could talk about it forever, but I think one that has to be touched is You Should Be Here.
Yeah.
And I know how much that one means to you. I know you've talked about it a million times, but for the B Nation listeners, so you lost your father, right?
Yeah.
And that has inspired the song.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll let you kind of go from there, but like, you write this amazing song, whether it takes off or not, amazing song.
Right. Those are the kind that, you're writing it. It's, some you're writing, you want to, some other people make them feel good or help somebody through something. This was just strictly how I was feeling. We were in Foxborough, where the New England Patriots play. I was on tour with Luke, stadium show that night. And Ashley Gorley, the greatest of all time songwriter, especially in country music. He was out with us, and he had been in the football stadium earlier, sending a video of the stage set up in an NFL stadium to his daughter, and he just typed, "You should be here," to her. Like, just one of those moments, man. If she would love this. She loves sports. It'd be crazy to see a stage. Well, he tells me that idea, "You should be here," and I'm obviously thinking of my dad, a whole different thing. And that's another way music, whether it's a title or just the song in general, people can take songs different ways. It's how you personally take it. And this was one that You Should Be Here. It's one of the most special songs of my career. I've hadn't done a meet and greet probably at a show since that song got released where I had got a question about it or somebody told me there were You Should Be Here stories. And you learn quick that you're still fortunate. You may have been through something, but man, there's somebody out there that has it worse. And I just remember hearing some of the stories, but to know your music has helped people through some of the toughest times. And I hope everybody knows that's ever been through something like that or lost someone you love. I mean, only thing that's ever helped me, I think, was knowing that there was somebody else that had felt that. There's no words, there's nothing anybody's going to text you or call you and say that's going to make you feel better, but knowing that there's people out there that have been through that, and for me to be able to put that into lyrics and put it into a song, I mean, that's what we're here for, man, is to help people in general, not just music, just in life. And I think for me to use a gift that the good Lord gave me to help others, my dad, a lot of people, that in my life now never got to meet him. And I just hope that, I always tell them, I wish you could have met him, and they get to see a little bit of him and me, and to share that through my music is just, it really is. I love to have fun up there, and I love for people at concerts, they're there to have a good time, but there's somebody in that crowd. It might be one person, but somebody's there to hear that song. And I've not played that song one show. I'll never forget it a couple years back because we were trying to keep the show moving and I wanted to keep the energy up and I didn't play it. And a lady messaged me and said she drove over 3 hours to hear that one song and I didn't play it. And I just, I'll never not play that one again. It's too important. And I always say, I wish I'd never had to write it, but it is
Sure.
the spot and you're fortunate enough to get to tell your story. I think anytime I've been scared to write something or scared to release something, it's really connected with people more than I ever imagined. So that was one that I was played, and I don't know, it makes me think of a lot of people. The older you get, it relates to more people, and I just it's special. So thank you for asking about that one.
Yeah, no, it's man, you can relate to. Like, I just lost my grandma.
I know, man.
You were around me during that process, and obviously, I've always understood the song and the message, but it definitely, for me, like, she loved watching me race.
Yeah.
So like now I'm at this point in my career where things are happening.
Yep.
Same thing for you. Like, I'm sure
It was
you're
right when I made it. Dude, it was right. He got to see me get my record deal and know that I was going to be all right. And that was just a freak thing after that. But man,
the only perspective I look at that, and it doesn't make any better, but
no,
like maybe the good Lord, he knew you'd made it, and
yeah,
we don't know why, but
we don't.
But yeah, I know he'd be proud, and
Yeah.
and he'd be laughing at you ripping these cards and hanging out with
man.
race cards.
Oh man, yeah.
That would be.
He'd say that. He would love that. He would appreciate,
If he got you on
this.
I wish I could have.
Like didn't he? We never got to. He was just probably buying me cards when I was a kid, but man, but even that, it's just, I bet I could have got him into it right now if he was here. But you don't know how. That's why you tell people you love them. But the people that I told you that. I remember when you told me you lost your grandmother. That she knew you before all these other people knew Butterbean and Dula, and those are your biggest fans, man. But they obviously want you to be happy. They know you're living a dream, and that's, to me, the song isn't just about losing somebody. It's the moments. It's this right here. It's the race, your next race. I mean, it's just, those are the moments where that one person, whoever you think of that song, they could make it a little better. But, music it's crazy how powerful, music can be. So,
Well, and you and I have talked about it. You never know who the person sitting over here, what they're going through,
exactly.
right? Like,
Exactly. Kind of about
you don't have, I mean, the person walking the door might be the happiest person, but something just happened today or yesterday that, they're dealing with, and no one knows. So it's really a lot of perspective on a lot of that. And I think you and I have had a lot of good conversations about that, which, leads me into another conversation on that is, fast forward now, you're married to Courtney.
Yeah.
You have a amazing little baby.
Yeah.
And I mean, so now you're a dad.
Yeah.
I don't know that feeling, but obviously it's got to be full circle for you now. And I would know you wish your dad was here, but also just now you're a dad and being in that position and going through that. And I know, shoot, I tried to FaceTime you last night to show you something. You're like, I'm holding.
I know, but Yeah, about 10 months ago, I would have answered that, but now, yeah, we got bedtime early. But yeah, man, it's just, life changes. They say it comes at you fast, and it's never, came at me more fast than it has the past few years. But it literally is the best few years of my life. We talk about chasing a dream, and for the longest time, yeah, I felt like I was achieving things in my career, but I think it was more me just in denial that I didn't have time for the personal life stuff. But now I feel like looking back, this is where I am now. This is what I was chasing all along. It wasn't the the number one songs or the albums going platinum, whatever it is. It's just, this is what we're all, chasing, just finding somebody you love, settling down. And for me to, get to do that, it didn't happen when I thought it would. I didn't know if it would ever happen, actually, but that just you'll learn. It turns into cliches. I feel like all these things people are like, when you know. And I was at the point I was like, I'm not sure I'm going to know, because if I don't know, it's just not in the cards for me. And then sure enough, man, I met Courtney, and you do, and fast forward now to a little baby girl, Rainy. It's just, it's hard to describe. I know we probably got some parents in here, so first time dad here of a little girl, and it is everything people tell you times. I don't know. I was telling somebody earlier today, I have so many friends with different age kids, and getting to see what they're doing and what they're into. I can't even imagine what that feels like. Mom hadn't done anything but laughed and smiled, and I think it's the best thing in the world. So to anybody out there, that knows what that feels like, I don't know that I would. I don't know. I didn't think I'd ever be here. So it's just an amazing thing. So,
Time to get her a guitar.
yeah, she's making some noise, so it is about time.
We'll make her a race fan too.
There we go. Oh yeah, I'm bringing her to see Butterbeans.
So last subject before we get into some questions I got wrote down, and then I think we're going to try something a little different. I know little man up here is going to want us to open some old school cards live.
Yeah.
We'll do that in a second, but touch real quick. I asked you. I remember asking when I got to hang out with you, like, so what is Cole Swindell doing now? Like, when are you on tour? Or you're not? And then bam, Spanish Moss comes out. So, like, anything about that special you want to talk about? Or
yeah, I mean, that was, I guess, my 5th studio album, and it took like 3 years to make. Just a weird time for me to try to make an album. I mean, I was getting engaged, getting married, we're having a baby, all while I was trying to finish this album. And it took longer than expected, but I honestly think it was 21 songs. Still one of my favorite albums I've ever made. It's obviously got our wedding song, Forever to Me, on there. That was a big song for us. Dale Jr., which is one of my favorite songs I've ever written. Just a true story. And just a few more favorites that I think every album, you love every song. People are like, what's your favorite one? It's like, I just try to have something on there for everybody. But that was a learning process for me, being in a different place in my life. I'm still singing about things that maybe I'm not currently living, but I want to be able to, there's somebody out there living it, and I don't want to just be stuck singing exactly where I am. I want to be able to still help people that are going through something that I've been through, whether it's a breakup, whatever it is. And, so I was kind of figuring that out, how to still sing about stuff, but I was really somewhere else in my life. And I've never been put in that, just being honest, I've never been put in that situation. But now, going forward, writing towards this next album, getting a chance to write about being a dad, write about, being a husband, and just how much life's changed. And it's really cool. Like I said earlier, I mean, I'm kind of just telling my story through where I am through my music. And right now that's a different place in life than I've ever been, but I hope people are still into hearing, where I am, and just how thankful I am to be here, man.
Well, I'll tell you this, and you might have heard this, or you might not care. I don't know. But I hear you talk about, took you a long time to write the album.
Yep.
You had a lot going on, and I've struggled with that in the racing world. Like, I'm 28, I'm too old, took too long, right? But the coolest thing about it is to sit there and go, everybody's path's different, right? And just because I got my opportunity later doesn't mean it's wrong. I'm just on a different path. You see other people get opportunity at 18 years old. It doesn't
know what to do with
it. I struggled with that, back and forth of like, why couldn't that have happened to me? But but then I'm like, there's nobody that's going, well, your path's wrong because you're older. It's just the way it worked out. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to get to the same ultimate goal, just like the albums.
Yeah, and I promise you, I wasn't thinking like that at 28. I mean, I knew the minute we sat down at lunch that day, I was like, this guy is not a kid. I mean, he is, I don't know, you just, the way you think about things, your perspective, that's what we talk about. And that is what will keep you in the game, because it is, it's, you know, we think we know best sometimes, but then it works out differently. And it's like, hey, I wouldn't have been ready if he'd have given me that opportunity then. So now you make the most of it, and you know what you're doing. And I just, man, I want to tell everybody that listens to Be Nation, y'all know that's why you're a fan of this guy. But it really is, man. The older I get, I just want to be around good people. And if they do something I'm a fan of, that's who I'm pulling for. And that's kind of how we connected. And I'll be a fan as long as we're doing this thing, man.
Man, that's super cool, and I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate who you are. We're gonna get into some fun stuff now. I got kind of some rapid questions. They might be silly or whatever, but I just kind of
I might need some help.
I asked you. I wanted to ask you
Pack
some
of cards.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you some questions.
Can we?
Yeah.
All right.
And I think he wants us to rip some old
Okay, yeah,
stuff,
we'll do-
so we'll do that too. But I'm gonna go through these real quick,
Yeah.
and then we might let the fans ask some questions to end it. But
Cool.
all right, you ready?
Yeah. I think.
I asked you this the other day, so you already studied.
Oh,
How do you remember the words on the stage, bud? All these songs.
I don't sometimes.
Is that when you hand the my
That's-
favorite
that's
to the
where I
crowd?
just-
Okay, we wanted that.
Like I want them to sing, but I really just want y'all to help me because
We as music fans want to know: are y'all really want to hear us sing, or you just want us to tell you?
it's a little bit of both. It depends.
It depends.
I'm gonna add a question because we just talked about it. You keep writing all these songs that everyone you like. How hard does that get to make your set list?
Man, it's, you know, when you start out, you're just trying to fill up a set list. You're adding cover songs and all this now to be at a point, but this perspective, I'm thankful to have a few that, you know, we have to decide between on every show, but man, it is. We try to switch it up just because somebody came to that show and you're not going to play something they wanted to hear. And it's just, I didn't think I'd ever have enough songs to have that problem. You hear about George Strait, he's got however many number ones. He couldn't play for 2 weeks straight and play all of them. So I don't have that kind of problem. Yeah.
It's problem to have. Okay. Favorite song to play, and the first is a two-part question. Favorite song to play. It doesn't have to be yours, and then the second part is, and favorite song of your own that you wrote, played, whatever.
Yeah. Man, favorite song. Probably, maybe not favorite song I've written just because it's a fun song, but She Had Me at Heads Carolina was a pretty big song for me as an artist. Just
And she was sipping on the White Claw.
No, that's a single Saturday night. Was that- was that one too? Yeah, this one. Hey, it's fine. At least it was my song.
That's why I don't sing. I'd have been got the songs mixed.
That's
up.
right. But no, I mean, probably She Had Me at Heads Carolina just because I remember the original being a kid, and to get to sing that and see. That was the first song I'd ever had where people, you know, sent videos of their kids in the back seat singing it, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not, because it's really cool for me. Yeah.
All right. Who's your inspiration?
Man,
I wanted to thump you.
I know. Yeah, that's tough, man. Obviously, my parents. I think them not being here, I think that's who. I just, you know, want to make them proud, and I think, you know, the way you live and who you are. I mean, the way I was raised, I think that's something that I've come back around to later in life, thanks to Courtney. And, you know, I'd say my parents, that's who, other than Jesus, obviously, that's who I would love to be like. But my parents, I think that's who, man, that's who I'm trying to make proud.
They'd be proud. They are proud.
Thank you, buddy.
Not would. They are proud. They're watching.
I appreciate you.
All right. So we're not going to end the show because we're going to do some stuff with the fans. But my last question, and I always end the Bean Nation podcast, is I have had this motto throughout my late model career leading into what I do now, and it's always trust the process. And I had these moments where it was a trust the process moment to get me here. What is Cole Swindell's trust the process moment?
Trust the process. You know, I think for me, before I had the song She Had Me at Heads Carolina, I went through a tough, everybody did. It was, you know, the country was shut down, and it was during the pandemic, kind of, we didn't know we'd play shows again. We had no idea, you know. And I think for me, just not having music out there, and there's a lot of ups and downs. I'm thankful for the success, but a lot of people, they don't see, you know, all the nights you're wondering, am I still going to do this? Do I still want to do this? I mean, it's a lot of ups and downs. And I think for me, getting to that stereotype, that was the name of the last album. Getting that done really was, I didn't know if I'd ever get it done. And it just turned out to have one of the biggest songs of my career. And it just I've been shown so many times that I think I know what's best and I don't. It works out differently, and it works out better than I could have ever ever imagined. And I think for me, that's you got to trust the process because you get in your own head, and that's just how it is. I mean, the world we live in is comparison, and I've heard that's the thief of joy, and that's the most true thing I've ever heard. It's what's this person doing, what's their Instagram, all this stuff, and it's just you got to be thankful for what you have, and it's hard to do that sometimes in the world we live in. But that's how I look at it.
No, I love that. One thing, before we go into that, I just want to give a thanks to Cardiacs for letting us do this here. I mean, this is awesome. Anybody listening, if you're ever in Kannapolis, please come check out Cardiacs because they've been, welcomed Cole and I in here multiple times a week. Like we own the place. So
They're trying to get out of here, and we're like, well, we just gotta clean up our mess, and
they take care of us. So no, I appreciate you as for one doing this, Cole, because I feel like we've had a great friendship, and looking forward to many more race nights, many more concerts, having some fun. But I promised little man here we'd open some cards live, so he's got some old school cards we'll bring up here, and depending on our time, maybe throw a couple fan Q&As at us, or
whatever y'all think.
So these are the first NASCAR cards that they ever made.
wow, those are insane. 1988.
What year were you born?
2015.
Hey, 2015, he was rookie of the year, 2015.
Hey, come on, you were rookie of the year too.
I graduated high school in 2015. Go Hawks.
All right, let's stop talking about that.
How the heck you opened?
Oh man,
I don't know.
you don't know?
I haven't opened any yet.
I'm scared. We got a blade over here. I'm scared of.
Let's tell you red.
That's Dean style.
You don't want to mess up the punch.
I don't want to mess them up. I don't know how to open it.
Well,
I would say just like use a little bit of the blade.
yeah.
Has everybody enjoyed the Cole Swindell edition of the V Nation podcast? This has been awesome, right? And I will say, because we're still live and this will be edited in. Thank you to the fans for showing up.
Yeah, thank you for hanging.
My fan base has grown and grown. It's been awesome. Never thought I'd be sitting here with somebody like Cole Swindell. Like, it's a dream come true. But to see this many people walk in here and want to listen to us talk about our lives is pretty cool.
Hey man, well this is what we got here. So you wanna?
So in this, you're looking for the Dale Earnhardt.
we're looking for a nail.
Love this right here.
His rookie card.
Apparently,
They call him it. But
Yeah.
it's not really his rookie card.
I love your knowledge already.
He's the next.
I've seen these before, like just on eBay that I can't afford, but I've seen them. Like some of the
How many Butterbean cards you have, Cole?
I know we've got a couple. I got my guy Josh in here. We brought some signed, but I made him. If anybody saw our video getting y'all to come out here, I made him sign a few. So we gotta give them out to a few.
We do.
Yeah. I got plenty of Butterbean. Not any one-on-ones. I'm trying, but they're.
Oh, sweet. Oh,
yeah. I gotta do something for you too.
this is cool. We got to get this on the show live.
Hey,
Cole Wiki.
Oh, look at that. Look at Alan.
that's sick.
Yeah, I'll move this down here because I know this is your deal, but
Yeah.
I want this on the video part of this
Yeah.
show.
Okay.
That's really
you.
cool.
You want me and is there any Butterbean could sign like that one?
Yeah.
How'd you open this?
Oh,
just-
that's the Talladega. That's
that's-
a really rare one too.
Yeah. What is that?
The Talladega. So
Oh,
so that one's really
Cool.
famous too.
Oh, yeah, man. You guys
That's
are
one of the
cool. These are
best
yours,
ones
buddy.
That's yours then.
That's,
You
one,
keep that
that's
one.
one of the best ones that you can get.
Really? Talladega.
Here,
You
bud.
know all about that, don't you?
Talladega has not been friendly to the bean. Let me go ahead and tell you that.
I didn't mean that. I just meant he'd been there.
Yeah, I've been there, all right. I've been to the infield care center.
Dang, dude.
I bent the steering wheel with my owner. I've had 2 starts there and 2 crashes. So
Next topic.
sorry.
Let's bring up old news.
Let's talk about Daytona. Daytona was a lot nicer. I'll tell you,
Okay, let's see what you got in this one.
Your bonnet.
Kansas is really good.
Love it.
I'll tell you, it's But I'll tell y'all, that's one thing about me. I feel like is I am one of y'all. Like, I'd be standing right there on the other side, sitting here listening to somebody talk.
there he is. There it is.
I don't think that's a rare one. That's still awesome.
It's rare to me though.
But I feel like I'm I'm just a race fan that was a blue collar guy that got an opportunity, and that's what I love. Like, I embrace the fans, and we got our I'm not trying to sell y'all, but I got my new flag that they'll have at the merch hauler. So I'd have this. It's kind of weird for me to fly my own flag, but I'd be out there tailgating with it, you know.
I would have bought it already, but he needed it for this show. So I'm try to buy it off of him after this.
I guess while we're opening this, I'm gonna move that over to you.
Yeah, I got a something for Butterbean here.
This is really cool.
I've never had, so this is my 5th album, but we've never done a vinyl for some reason. Don't ask that. That's not, I have no idea. I don't have a good answer, but we finally got one made here for Spanish Moss, and just one of my favorite albums I've ever done. So you've signed, he's always willing to sign cards, and, you know, me and Josh get him to sign some. We do some giveaway stuff, and we talked about that the first time we hung out, just fans, how much they mean to him. And I knew that was the first thing he said. I said, you're going to be around a long time, because we both know without the people that support us, there ain't we wouldn't be here doing it. So I'm gonna sign this and write you a little note in here. And
Man,
maybe pull me a Butterbean.
that's insane. That's so cool. Do y'all open them or something? Yeah, that's what.
You mean, is that
Yeah. No, I was about to say, because if the plastic got ripped.
No, I'm not gonna.
It's not Jim anymore.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not signing it.
I'll tell you.
Wow.
So I'm. Oh, thank you, buddy. I'm old school, and I've gotten big into records. And I asked Cole early on when we were hanging out. I'm like, hey, like, I'd love to have a record to put up, and I've never had. This will be the first one I frame and do something like that at the house. And this is special to me because I do love records and I love old school stuff. And records are.
What do you want me to put? Butterbean, Brendan? What do you want?
Butterbean's fine. That'd be perfect. Man, that's so cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely be signing some hero cards, and then we got some young Colton stickers. It looks like that's Cole's trading Cole and Josh, right? Charles.
Yeah, we got a little card adventure here. We like our collection, I guess. We're just big fans of all sports, especially, I don't know, NASCAR is just kind of what we've gravitated to, just being fans. So yeah, we got some stickers for y'all, and
See if we can
whatever, probably take a few pictures, but y'all hang and let me sign you something.
And if anybody has any quick questions real quick before we cut this off, shoot them. We'll get somebody to grab you out the crowd here. Rip a couple.
Usual.
You got a suited up Blaney.
Anybody have a question?
I have a question.
What's the Holy Grail card, Cole?
Oh,
A Butterbean slingshot.
hey, what's up, Rusty and Jen? How y'all doing? Man, Butterbean slingshot is the grill while I'm sitting right here.
I paid him to say that. I paid him to say that.
We were laughing because that was, I didn't even, the blasters weren't even out for me to pull one before I just bought one online. I couldn't handle it anymore. So, but no, I actually just got our grill, me and Josh, the card y'all told me about that. I think y'all, the Blaney Gold downtown, first on print, 1 of 10. Yeah, that one's never going anywhere. That's really really special one. So thank y'all for that.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite driver right now?
Besides Butterbean or what? I'm kidding.
Now ask Cole or me.
Cole.
Okay, yeah, no, obviously Butterbean, definitely one of my favorites. Me and Blaney go way back, so I met him back in Kansas when he was in the 21, and Chase Briscoe, become a good buddy of mine. Noah, I mean, I don't know, I kind of follow the people all that, but I will say that used to, especially NASCAR, you got your person that you pull for, and you don't really like anybody else. But these cards, I don't know, I'm a fan of everybody. And just being in, a business that I'm in, I mean, I respect what everybody's doing, and you realize how talented everybody. If they've got the guts to go out there and do what y'all are doing, I'll collect your card, I guess. But it's been cool to kind of just get into it. It's made me a bigger fan, just collecting cards, and just some of these people that I might not have pulled for. Now I'm kind of just, hey, well, I got their card. I hope they win this one.
That's what made him hit me up. He was like, "Who the heck is this guy?"
Nah,
Somebody else.
but just his cards, man, and all these breaks. You can't get his spot because it's already gone. I'm just
B Nation.
Being Nation strong.
B Nation, baby, rise up. Is that it? Noel? Well, this is I'll let him finish this up. Oh, we got another one? Or no? That was it?
I want more for Butterbean. What's your favorite track?
Ooh.
Dirt or
Any type of truck.
Every single one. No, I'm just kidding. My hero cards say Dover. I had to pick one. I really like Dover. That one got me hired, obviously, with Ram and colleague. But man, there's so many. I like Kansas is a super nice mile and a half. I love short tracks. Yeah, there's every track's sentimental for certain reasons. You know, like Dover, I'll always be known. That got me my job, and Kansas was my first mile and a half win. Daytona was the probably biggest win you can have. So I think it's hard to narrow it down. Obviously, I like going to race my late models at my home track at Langley and stuff like that. So looking forward to that.
What was your name, bud? The 25 hat right here?
Atlas.
Atlas right here. Sign just
You want to do like we did yesterday?
or just do. Yeah, let's do that.
Want to do it? I'll do the bottom.
Sign you a little thing here.
Anybody else have questions?
Huh? Oh yeah.
Cole, who's your favorite whatnot streamer?
Everybody in here.
Franchise.
That's what. Nah, come on. He won't come up.
He took all the butterbean cards.
He's got all them one-on-one butter beans, but here we go.
So we got some butterbean cards. We're going.
Yeah, and I know you got to get in there so you can.
Yeah,
like,
we'll probably just in this. I'm gonna get a photo with Cole,
Yeah.
especially with this album because that's really special to me. And then we got this for you. You want to
Yeah.
put one on that, or you think this will be something no one else has? We just signed this one. No one can get it. So if you see him out in the parking lot with it, trying to sell it, we know where it came from.
There's no comps on that, so let's.
We're going to start one outside in the corner there.
But no, once again, thank you to everybody. Thank you to Cardiacs. Thanks, Cole.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Butterbean. Bean Nation, y'all are awesome, man. Let's keep supporting you out here.